Shit, I don't want to be here anymore.
Oh,
I can't wait to just clip all your terrible sound effects, Kaotic.
Thank you.
It's gonna be awesome. That one's gonna be one. Thank you.
Thank you.
hello and welcome to the apocalypse. This is Silver here. We got Mage, but we do not have monDe because he has given birth.
You can't just say
He had a child.
I have just killed our special guest we have on.
Our guest is dead. We just started. It's been fun.
Oh no.
Quick, somebody call a hero.
Oh, not like this. It was too cheesy.
Would you expect anything else from him, though?
No.
Our special guest for this episode of DC Heroes, special guest host, is
Chaotic. Maybe. I don't know. I guess I'm not sure about it.
And I'm here too.
I'm so excited to be here.
Jumping in. For those who don't know who Kaotic is, they are
the person at the end that was forced into doing things. You're welcome.
Yes.
You knew about this for multiple days. Don't you act like this is like we called you 3 hours ago and we're like,
the ending is the ending I was forced into, okay? The whatever the fuck it's called. What do you call that?
The outro?
Outro.
You should know you recorded it.
No, I don't.
Kaotic, the wonderful voice of the outro, as well as one of the main hosts of Monsters, Myths, and Mayhem that I co-host with her.
Also a host of Book Valkyries. If anybody's a book nerd, yes, K thanks.
Yes. Which you announced your next book, which is
I'm waiting to be
Honeymoon
impressed.
Alone.
Yes,
by
Honeymoon
Nicole
Alone.
McCleary.
You did great. I'm not going to correct you. You did wonderfully.
Okay.
It sucked.
Which might already be out by the time this episode comes out.
Yeah, maybe.
So JK, if you're listening to this right now, go in the Discord. We're probably 2 books ahead.
It's not a bad thing. We're just ahead on editing and recording on this.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Look at us just doing shit.
So, ground rules for DC episode. Character episode, everybody listening. We are doing our rating. We are doing ratings of these guys. Mainly heroes, as one of the categories is heroics. We're also rating them on their gimmicks, like their themes, weapons, disguises, the whole gimmicks most heroes have. And weaknesses, if their weaknesses are usually deadly to them or just stop them and inhabilitate. Not very effective. I believe Chaotic and Mage both have the card.
Oh yeah, you actually made a card for this one.
I was ahead of the game.
Yeah. First time for everything, right?
All right. I wasn't here. I didn't know that we were obliterating everybody right here on podcast.
Do you know us?
It's about how it usually goes. It's usually aimed towards monDe.
And then he fires back. So you're in the seat, I guess.
Oh, no.
So I think how we're going to do this, Chaotic is filling in for monDe, which means if she were to win, long shot, I know, she will be getting the win for monDe.
It's the way I've fucking been spoken to not even 10 minutes into this podcast.
I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but what did you expect?
I don't know.
So, Mage, since Chaotic's new here, should we just do me and you first? That way she can get...
Yeah, I opened a wheel, but I feel like that's just the best option. Well, I'll spin the wheel to see which you or I goes first.
Usually I goes first in front of you. That's how alphabet works.
How about you don't be a fucking asshole?
I can only follow those rules if the day does not end in Y.
Fair point. Let's see. Between you and I, you are going to start.
Okay. So, starting this off, the first character I chose is Etrigan. Are you guys familiar with Etrigan?
Like the demon?
Yes, the demon Etrigan.
I knew that was going to be
Correct.
the question.
Yes.
This is, hold on, pause. Because clearly Chaotic doesn't appreciate us enough to support our content. These episodes are
Fucking
very
rude as fuck. Go ahead, continue.
typically Silver picks very off the wall characters. I'm more middle ground, and monDe is always like the MCs.
Oh, good. I will definitely be taking monDe's place then.
Perfect. This fits perfect. Go ahead with Etrigan, Silver.
Fucking crying. Like, who just comes out the gate with Etrigan? Anyways, sorry.
So, Etrigan the demon is a hero. He is on both Justice League, the Demon Knights,
Pause.
Justice League Dark.
Hero is a loose term for him.
He's always on the good side. He's just a demon.
No, he's not.
He's just a demon. It's
He's
just
just there. Oh my god.
He is bound to human Jason Blood.
Mm-hmm.
He does good. He is brothers of Merlin, half brother of Merlin. He's from Camelot. He is on Justice League Dark, the Justice League Unlimited. He has done his share of good. Usually when the Justice League needs to fight demons, they call Etrigan or Jason Blood. Jason Blood transforms into Etrigan using the rhyme that it was inscribed on Merlin's tomb.
Oh, don't act like you're not gonna say it. You can't get away with that.
I'm going to say I was just getting my notes back. I accidentally unnoted them. The rhyme for Jason Blood to change into Etrigan is change, change, O form of man. Free the prince forever damned. Free the might from fleshy mire. Boil the blood in the heart of fire. Gone, gone, O form of man. And rise the demon, Etrigan. But usually he just uses the last two lines, which is just gone, gone, O form of man. And rise the demon, Etrigan. And he likes to speak in rhymes, but he doesn't always have to. That's his gimmick. Be a shape changing demon that likes to rhyme. And the change back to Jason Blood, he says, "Begone, begone, O Etrigan, resume once more the form of man. Gone now, O Etrigan, and rise again, the form of man."
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever heard the rhyme like to change back. I've only heard it to change.
They say it in the Justice League Dark movie.
Mm-hmm.
He is also in most of the Justice League and Batman movies in one or two episodes.
He was in that original Justice League Unlimited show too.
Mm-hmm. I think he was in the 90s Batman TV series as well. But he's always helping Batman. There is one time though when Etrigan was in Etrigan form and he was working as a mall Santa, and then Superman happened to see him, and Superman started to fight with him, even though he was just peacefully being a mall Santa in demon form.
Superman fighting a mall Santa is one of the funniest sights I've had in my head today.
Then Etrigan proceeded to punch Superman to the moon. He hit him so hard he landed on the watchtower on the moon. His abilities include demon physiology, superhuman strength, stamina, speed, all that great stuff, immortality, regenerative healing, pyrokinesis, magic, precognition, flame breath, energy blasts.
All the powers you'd
Definitely.
expect a demon to have.
Yep. And master martial artist. Because I believe even Jason Blood is from the medieval Camelot age. Because of immortality, they've just been bound together. Weaknesses are the same weaknesses as demon. Iron, holy water.
So, do you want me to go first? So that way I can show Chaotic kind of how to do this?
Yeah.
Okay. So typically Chaotic, we go through the list on the card, rate them, tell why we're rating them that way. So I'll start with Gimmick, obviously. The rhyming thing is cool. It gets extra points for that. I do like the personality thing. It's really cool. The thing I didn't like, and I'm basing this on as far as like the different iterations of him. Typically, when he transforms into Etrigan, it's almost like he becomes like a pissed off teenager. He like doesn't want to do things. He's lazy. He's aloof, and he has all this power. It's like okay, but he doesn't want to do shit. That's what I mean. Like he's not really a hero. Like he does it when
Unless
it's convenient.
Usually when there's demons, he'll fight and stuff.
But if it's not that, he's like, I don't really give a shit. He's very much like Aquaman, where he's like, well, this is your mortal problems, not my problem. So for that, and then he has a lot of really cool weapons too, obviously, all his demon powers. Disguises, he has a built-in disguise, being able to transform back into Jason Blood. So I'm going to say for Gimmick, we'll give him a 7. Heroics, I'm going to say 7 because he has fewer deeds than a lot of people of things that he does, but the things he does are really cool. Like in, was it Blackest Night? He, I think, fought off the Black Flame Lanterns, like the Black Lanterns. He held off a lot of them because of his magical power. Like magic was the only thing that can affect them. So he was a really big piece of that. But again, that wasn't him. That was, I think, Deadman possessed him. So it wasn't as much him as it was Deadman. But so I'm going to say probably a 6 for that. He was cool, but not the best. Weaknesses. Weaknesses is tough because he doesn't have a lot.
Pretty much just holy water, iron, cross.
Yeah.
Type. Not even cross really.
Mm-hmm.
He's just holy water, iron.
Yeah. I would say probably an 8 because he doesn't have a ton of weaknesses. The problem is when he is the... Can he be killed as Jason Blood?
Mortality.
Okay. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. I thought it was like a Hulk situation. So, yeah, I'm going to say an 8 for that. So, 7, 6, and 8 gives you 21.
Okay.
My turn.
It do be your
Yes.
turn.
Okay. I think Gimmick overall, I think Mage covered it pretty well. I don't really have anything to add, and I think that I was actually gonna go lower with rating. I think the rhyming's pretty fucking lame. So I was gonna do more of a 6. So
and you're never getting asked back.
Heroics, I planned on giving a 7. Just because as a character, Etrigan's not one I'm super informed on. I know that there was a situation at one point where I can't remember if Joker called on him or like was trying to summon him, but he fights against Batman and eventually just realizes that's just not going to happen and sides with Batman and defeats Joker. So based on that, I was just going to give him a 7 because that's, about as much as I know about Etrigan. And weaknesses, I don't know, because like with the mortality and essentially just being a straight up demon that you can use crucifixion on, I'd imagine, kind of. I don't know.
Just go with what your gut says.
I guess like a 5. So like 6,
Okay.
7, 5.
18.
Not terrible. I'll take that for Etrigan.
Yeah, I feel like you started at the gate with the weird one. And if it gets worse than that, we got a problem.
You said the name and my brain like 404'd. I was like, we're talking about like the demon. I was like, all right.
Okay. So with that, Mage, who are you giving us for round 1?
So as I said, I'm typically the middle of the road guy when it comes to these episodes. I have one that I'm going to argue a little bit because I really want to use him, and he's kind of one of my favorite characters. So I'm gonna choose the Red Hood from. He's more specifically Batman, but serves
I'm a
on Teen
little
Titans
upset
Justice
because he
League.
was high on my list too, but I'm excited to hear it.
Yes. So the Red Hood is one of my favorite characters in the entire show. In all of Justice League, all of Batman, he has his own not standalone movie, but a movie where he is the protagonist, which is Batman Under the Red Hood. The Red Hood is originally Jason Todd, who was trained as a Robin. And actually, if you look at like a lot of the data books and everything, he is talked about as the strongest Robin. So like his time as Robin, he trained the most, and the reason he became the strongest Robin is because he has like the killer instinct. So Dick Grayson always lacked like the ability to put someone down, the ability to like mortally hurt somebody, and then the ones later kind of had more empathy, whereas Jason did not. Like in that movie, he kills like 15 crime lords and takes over the drug trade in Gotham in like a day and a half. So he's incredibly strong. He is trying to get back at Batman for letting him die to the Joker, die, and then not killing the Joker in like revenge. Eventually, Batman beats him, and then he becomes a hero later on, kind of realizing like what he did was bad and he shouldn't be doing that. He should be siding with Batman to assist people. But he becomes a hero and then has no problem like, oh, you're really evil. I'm going to fucking kill you, which really pisses off Batman a lot. But he's, again, trained as Batman. He's even seen to go toe to toe with him, ultimately loses, but is able to go rounds with Batman, which is incredible. Heroics, again, kind of limited to Gotham, more like Batman. Weaknesses, he is just a dude. So I'm really banking on gimmick and heroics here. So
Wow, he's got the same weaknesses as Batman and Jerry across the road.
what's the oh my
Lower
gosh.
your fucking tone.
What's the one there's a one Justice League movie where the Hal Jordan Green Lantern meets Batman in like a sewer. He's like, wait, you're not just a guy in a bat costume, are you? And Batman just smiles at him.
Oh, that's
It's one of the newer
Justice
ones. It's really
League.
good.
I think it's Justice League Apocalypse.
Yeah, it's the Dark Side one.
Yeah.
I think you're right. I think it's Apocalypse. But yeah, that's Red Hood. Chaotic, do you have any questions about the Red Hood before you rate him?
Nope. It's gonna be hard not to be biased here.
That's what I'm counting on. Pandering is allowed here, 100%.
Yeah.
Which is why the other one on my list is Dick Grayson. As I can see the little Nightwing cosplay in the back there from Silver.
He was also high on my list.
Yep. Well, you can still take him if you want.
No, I have my next one. So am I rating first?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Gimmick. Oh god, this is so hard. I so don't want to be biased, but damn. Jason Todd is one of the coolest people in DC. I'm not gonna lie. He is like obviously in Marvel, Deadpool is way more smartassery and like silly. But if I had to anti-hero somebody in DC close to my love for Deadpool, it'd be Jason Todd. He's just a smartass, badass. I love him.
Yeah, amen. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Gimmick, I'm gonna put at a 9 just because I feel biased giving him a straight up 10. I just love him to death. He is literally one of the coolest motherfuckers out there. And he's literally what I want Batman to be. Just kill somebody. Just in their life.
Put a dude
and
down.
Just put him down. It's great.
I agree with a lot of that. I think it helps too. Like I love tortured characters.
Mm-hmm.
And his backstory is like it if you could put it along the lines of Batman, like it's the hard to watch.
It is, and no matter which origin story you go with, devastating. All of them devastating. He's such a and he's such a he's how you if I went through trauma like as a human and I had the ability to become a superhero, he's how I feel like I would respond to life. Well, so yes.
I think he's how 90% of 95, 98% of people would respond. It's the 1% that are like, oh, I'm going to be Batman and like not kill people. It's like, no, you would break.
Correct. Yeah.
Isn't it also our fault or the fans' fault he became Red Hood?
Yes.
There was a
correct.
poll where it like voted if he was to live or die, and they voted for him to die.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah,
We're
very hard.
DC fans are assholes. There's just no way around
For sure.
that.
Pre-internet polls.
Marvel
Yeah.
fans have it good. They don't realize how good they have it till they come to the DC fan side.
For God's sakes, we have Jared Leto Joker.
Yeah. Heroics. His heart's in the right place with all of his heroics. Like, it's in the relatable place. But he's definitely not saving 52 Earths. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm gonna put him at like a 7, just because I gotta keep the realistic humanity,
Yeah.
the mortality in him.
That's fair. Yeah, it's really hard to like get a 10 unless you're talking about like, oh, the Green Lantern goes to different planets.
Mm-hmm. Weakness, I'm not gonna put as low as I don't think people expect me to, just because he does have, he has technology and Fox Industries and all kinds of stuff that helps him create armor. I mean, they have good weapons.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as susceptible. I mean, they are mortal underneath all the armor and stuff, but they do a great job at keeping them safe and doing all the training. And like you said, he rigorously trained. Yeah, that word. Trained as hard, if not harder, than Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Which is why he was one of the most deadly Robins. So I'd put him at like a 5 or 6. Probably my favoritism wants to lead towards a 6.
I'll take the 6.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet you will. Just because it's real hard to get a hold of him. Once you do, it's even harder to break him. So, yeah, I think I'll do that.
He's very like, and I can't underestimate enough the movie where he fights Batman and like beats the brakes off Batman the first time they fight. Like, is wild.
Yes. Yeah. And if anybody here hasn't played Arkham Knight, there's a really good Jason Todd scene in that too that'll get you going. So yeah, I'd say that's fine. I think I'm gonna stick with that. I'll do what was it? Is 966? So
I thought it was 976.
Oh, you're right, 976.
Yes. I'll go with.
Don't cheat me out of that point. You shut the fuck up.
976.
It's 22.
I'm sorry, Silver. Jason Todd's amazing.
I may have been pandering a little. I got one pander to you, one pander to Silver, and then one for me.
Okay, my rating for Jason Todd, the Red Hood, he could have chose. Actually, he does have a pretty cool outfit with the leather jacket and the Red Hood. I'm still. What was the point of the hood being red and just a complete visor? Is it because he got hit in the head once and didn't want to get hit in the head?
Well, it's because he got oh my goodness. It was because Joker, like, that's how he killed him. He had beat him over the head with a crowbar.
Yeah. So he wanted a helmet for it. It didn't happen.
Yeah, he beat him and his mom to death with a crowbar and then blasted them to high hell. So like, yeah, he was.
I think in the comics there's a reason for it, but I can't remember. But I know in the movie they don't really talk about it.
Mom owed Joker, and Jason Todd stepped in like, "Oh, I'm gonna make him pay for that." And Joker's like, "No, you're not." So
going from Robin to Red Hood, the transition there where he was actually killing, where he was actually killing a lot of the bad guys. I believe he started killing them less once Batman figured out who he was.
Because he tried to stay under the radar for a minute.
Yeah.
And then eventually he like found Joker and then confronted Batman. I think that was why he didn't kill as many people, because he was like trying to track down Joker.
And using weapons and arsenal, which is I wouldn't say uncommon in the DC universe, but his access to them makes it interesting.
Yeah.
I'd say Gimmick is probably going to be an 8 for me. Heroics, I will probably take Chaotic's other answer of being a 6, just because he was the boy wonder at first, but then he was evil.
Yeah, the anti-hero hits hard.
Yeah,
it does.
And then I know He's on the Outlaws.
Mhm.
Ever heard of that team? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think not only that too, when he does join like the Outlaws, I think he was part of the Teen Titans for a minute in a certain run. He does serve like a very big brother role in a lot of those. And it's the classic like the broken character becomes the father thing.
Yeah. Or there's a couple webtoons that's Red Hood and the Outlaws. He's the
Mhm.
main character of, and then the Batman family
Yep.
that he's in a lot of. And then in the Bat family, he's got PTSD of the Joker, so he can't actually fight the Joker.
But he typically on a lot of those missions, he'll run like reconnaissance and stuff. So
Yeah.
because he's so well connected, he serves the role.
Being just a man with the weakness of PTSD against the Joker, who is kind of one of the main villains that he tries to avoid, I'm going to have to give him probably a 5, being human with tech.
Human with tech.
-1 for PTSD.
That's fair. So is that a 19?
865.
Yeah, 19. Perfect. All right, Chaotic, you think you got an understanding?
I think so. I may still fudge it, but I mean, you guys will get my point, I think. So
We
I think
gotcha.
we're okay.
I didn't put any Etrigan gifts in the chat. Sad.
I was trying to find a good Etrigan quote. There's one where he's pretty much, he sent him to his bedroom.
Okay, you ready?
Kick it off.
Okay. Well, oh my god, not baby Etrigan.
That episode was hilarious.
My first choice should not surprise anybody, and if it does, I don't know that you've ever known me a day in your life. I chose Raven.
God damn it. I knew it was going to happen, but she was on my list too.
I almost didn't do her first, and then you popped out Jason Todd, and I was like, okay, Raven. Raven
That's
is
for sure. You guys were going to take Etrigan from me.
Oh yeah, for sure. We were definitely gonna do that.
Listen, I legitimately was like looking up characters, and I was like, I do really like Etrigan.
I didn't expect that name to come up at all in this entire discussion. So Raven was born to Angela Roth, who's actually a human, but her father is the demon overlord Emperor Trigon. Angela was unfortunately raped by Trigon when she ran away and had to join a cult due to her family. Raven was born, and as we all know, Raven becomes a very powerful demoness character. She has a lot of parts and a lot of comics. She's mostly Teen Titan oriented. She does become good friends with Dick Grayson and Starfire and Cyborg and Beast Boy. Her and Beast Boy have like a romance. She is from, so it's Azarath, that contains her father. That's like the home area, home hell or whatever. Um, they fight her father a lot. Her father ends up being kind of like the antagonist most times in her stories. She does overcome him multiple times. She ends up becoming White Raven as well. She is able to meditate and clear the darkness from herself. As far as I know, her only weakness is her own emotions. She's a very powerful being. She's able to take down most anything she comes up against.
Isn't light a weakness too?
When she's Dark Raven, yes, it can
Yeah.
be. When she's White Raven, no. So her real name is Rachel Roth. There's an entire storyline with Brother Blood where they try to take her and Dick Grayson. And they end up actually, the Teen Titans and her end up defeating them entirely. I want to say, yes, and they completely prevent Brother Blood from returning. That's when she becomes White Raven. So when Brother Blood captures her, that's when she actually initiates up into that upper level of herself. She's been able to resurrect. She resurrected Jericho, I believe it was. They asked her to resurrect, I think it was Superboy at one time, but his soul had been taken, so she was unable to do so. So as long as her soul works, she's pretty solid in that. Her abilities are pretty limitless. She has astral projection. She can soul self, which her soul self can actually fight. It can physically fight on its own. Darkness manipulation. She can dimensionally travel, teleportation. She has telekinesis. She has lots of empathy, energy projection, flight. reality alteration, superhuman durability. She has telekinesis. She meditates to enhance all these abilities. So really, all she needs is a reset. She doesn't even have to sleep. She doesn't have to do normal human things. She is a demoness when it comes down to it at heart. And being the daughter of a demon emperor doesn't make your powers any less awesome. So that's, and you guys know who Raven is. You know what she does. And I just like goth mommy. So here we are.
What's her
Mhm.
incantation she uses to cast her spells?
Why did you ask so fast? I can think of Zinthos. Why can't I think of the other two?
Azarath,
Silver's.
Metreon,
Azarath,
Synthos.
Metreon, Zinthos. Thank you.
Silver, I think you start for Kaotic,
Yep.
right? Okay.
Yeah.
Pick her apart.
I like Raven. She is one of my favorite DC characters, DC heroes. Gimmick wise, she's a empath. She doesn't wear a mask or nothing to hide her identity, but no one really knows Rachel Roth. They just know her as Raven.
Right. When she doesn't have the cloak and stuff on and she's just in her goth mommy outfits, nobody like questions it.
Yeah.
They're just like,
So
oh, okay.
just a hood is just good enough to conceal her identity.
Mm-hmm.
And as she doesn't wear pants. I
It's
don't
the
think she
best
wears
part.
pants in any of her
She wears
costumes.
fishnets and a like leotard.
And in Teen Titans Go, they rate her as the best legs in the DC universe.
Teen Titan goes a little broken. We don't discuss that here. Thank you.
I'm gonna interject because it was brought up. That show is stupid. It shouldn't exist. They're forcing the relationship between Raven and
Mm-hmm.
Beast Boy. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
The original one will always be canon. I will not
Correct.
deviate from that.
Mm-hmm.
And I fucking hate it. Quit remaking
Correct.
shit.
Yep. Stop the Teen Titans Go. I agree.
Anyway, sorry, Silver.
That's fine. So I'm going to give and she themes her stuff all off darkness, emotion, because she's
And
like
Ravens.
yes, Raven spellcaster.
This is your
Trigon.
pander. This
Yeah.
is your pandering.
Yeah.
If
gonna
she'd have
give-
been Crow,
It's a bird, Silver.
They're corvids. They're
he said the genotype
He
of
did.
them. Jesus.
Raven's going to get a 10 in my book. Heroics,
Mhm.
being on the Teen Titans a lot. She does turn against everybody at one point in the comics.
Multiple
Where she's
times.
Yeah,
multiple
she has a
times.
couple rough moments.
She even
Usually it's when
stole.
she's possessed by her father. Let's talk about it. Anyways.
It's a
Now
pretty pretty rough time.
is that is that Raven the same as possessed Raven or Raven?
I mean, technically Trigon is in Raven's body, so it's technically Trigon. But,
Mhm.
And once Raven gets control, she just blasts his ass. So, I mean, she does, whenever she's present, she is trying to protect.
So we can't really count that against her because she's possessed. I'm going to go with a 7 on heroics. Just feels right. Weaknesses is she's got her magical barriers for defense. Sometimes light blinds her, makes her weaker. Except for that one episode against Dr. Light in the Teen Titans.
Yeah, Light has to like hit right because in a lot of comics and in a lot of the movies and stuff, it doesn't matter. Like she's not affected by it. She doesn't like it, but she's not like hugely affected by it. But in some of them, like it's certain strings or like reflections or like what am I trying to say? Like magnified light. That's almost like what it has to be, kind of like. There was crystals at one point where the sun was bouncing off of them, and it was a lot. She wasn't able to handle that, but
I'm pretty sure that'd probably burn anybody.
yeah, correct. Feeling like Woody in Toy Story.
But she has to be in complete control of her emotions at all times in order to control her powers, right?
Yep, that is her number one listed weakness. Because when you look at weaknesses, even like on the actual DC site, she doesn't have any listed other than empathy because her emotions are what devastates her. That's the biggest the biggest
And Trigon.
weakness. Yeah. Well, he comes with the empathy because she, as much as she knows he's the bad guy, she wants that connection with her father. Daddy issues. So she has, she does have some downfalls there, but it is mostly her. That's why her meditation and stuff and her chakra. She has a chakra set that helps her stay in line and stuff as well.
It's a good thing the kryptonite colors don't affect her.
Correct. And there was, I can't remember if it's a comic or if it was like just a TV show. And there was a time and place where she helped with Dark Superman. She was able to contain him almost as well as Diana could. So.
It's probably an injustice.
Almost as well as who?
As Diana? Wonder Woman?
Okay, I thought you said Ziana, and I was like,
no.
I was like, do you mean Zatanna?
I do not mean Zatanna. I'm not going to talk about Zatanna here. I hate Zatanna.
What you got against Zatanna? Damn.
I want to physically fight her. Her and Catwoman. They can both suck my dick.
Well, there goes one of mine.
That's a villain. That's straight up. She's straight up never been a hero.
No, never.
Zatanna's on the Justice League.
Yeah, but as a villain.
Oh,
like
Zatanna.
She's questionable. Oh.
No, Zatanna is. I thought you meant Catwoman. And I was like,
no.
The fuck?
Weakness, I'm going to go with a 7 as well.
Interesting. Okay.
24.
Thank you.
So you pandered to Silver, and that's great. I will not be as nice.
James is like, don't worry, I'll fuck you up right now.
Gimmick. I do not like the whole daddy issues. My dad's a demon and I gotta fight him every 5 minutes kind of thing. Just because the entirety of like the first 3 seasons of the original Teen Titans, which is one of my favorite shows, is all about her. It seems like every other episode is about either someone trying to get contact with Trigon, someone trying to bring him back. There's the whole Slade debacle, which is about her in the end. Like it's a lot. Yeah, I really don't like that part. So I'm gonna say a 5 for Gimmick. And then personality, her personality is like bland toast. She's just always sad. Her personality is that I'm sad and have daddy issues. In disguise, she doesn't have any disguise. It's a cloak. Heroic, like an 8, because she is very, very powerful. She's always dealing with other dimensions. She's dealing with her father. And she's very good at it. But again, she is essentially a portal for him to come into the world and kill people. I think the one episode he takes over the entirety of the world and like burns half of it down. Weakness. That's a pretty big weakness. To just have your psyche destroyed every now and then.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's happening as we speak.
I'm going to say a 6 for weakness. Just because it wouldn't be so low for me if it didn't get exploited so often.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Like it's all... She's so powerful except when the villain knows something about her. Mm-hmm. And then she's just nothing. She can't do anything. So I'm going to say a 6 for that. So what did I say? 6, 8, 6. 20.
That's not bad. I'll take it.
I think that's fair.
I don't know why you had to come at me like that, but it's fine.
I didn't come at you. I came a Raven.
I am Raven. I wish I was that cool. My psyche breaks are just crying in bed. I don't get to fight my dad in demon form.
You probably could.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Be cosplay wrestling.
My dad would probably just shoot me. I'm not gonna lie. He'd be like, okay, get out.
Goodness.
Okay. Ready for round 2.
Ding, ding, ding.
Winner of round 1 was Chaotic, followed by Mage and then Silver.
You mean you didn't win with Etrigan? I'm shocked.
I win this time.
Color me
Sandman.
Oh my Christ. God. What is happening?
I've never seen you throw this hard in your life.
My heavy hitters last. I had to find someone as a second round since you guys said you hated Zatanna.
Watch Etrigan. Watch Etrigan, Sandman, Batman. That's gonna
You
be
could still
Silver's
do
lineup.
Zatanna. I'll hear you out.
You'll pander to
No,
me. I actually really like Zatanna. Are you gonna
already
stick with
closed that.
Sandman?
I'm sticking with Sandman because I
Okay.
already closed Zatanna's wiki page.
That's so funny.
So Sandman was a member of the JSA, which came before the Justice League. He is pretty much a man who has prophetic dreams, and he uses those to fight crime. He's kind of like a detective crime fighter, but his gimmick is he wears his trench coat. He's kind of a noir themed. He's got his hat. He wears a gas mask, and he has a sleeping gas gun. So he just goes around spraying people in the face with sleeping gas. He's a founding member of the Justice Society of America.
So he's a grapist.
I hate it. He's like, it's like Scarecrow before Scarecrow had technology. Scarecrow was like,
Yes.
oop, let me hit reset. Let me just become the villain and get some cool shit.
The first Sandman was Wesley Dodds. Yeah, but other than that, he's just a man who has moderately good hand-to-hand combat skills.
Hold on, I like this
Uh,
photo better.
yes, that's him.
He's
Red
wearing a
cape,
green
fedora.
Zook suit with a cape and a fedora with a luchador mask under it.
This is what I found, and it looks like something from my nightmares.
Oh
Are we
my
sure he
god.
was a hero?
But Sandman got these prophetic dreams from meeting one of the seven Eternals, Morpheus,
Mhm. Yep.
God,
who
Morpheus.
is Dream. He ended up getting these powers from him.
Mm-hmm.
Then when he died, he passed it on to his, I believe, assistant or
Sidekick.
sidekick. Yeah.
Mhm.
Then his sidekick ended up getting the ability to transform his body into sand somehow. But the yeah, Wesley Dodds Sandman made appearances in uh, Batman. He's made appearances in he's a recurring character in the Flash. He must have hung out in Central City.
Mhm.
He had a non-speaking cameo in the Stargirl pilot episode,
I think
Smallville.
he was a villain, I think, though, in that, wasn't he?
No, because I think the JSA started off in
Mm.
that. I don't. Did they ever launch Stargirl?
The show?
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like you're talking about like the CW show, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm. I
Pretty
didn't
sure
know
it's
they
out.
actually launched it.
I mean, I'm sure it suffers the same fate as those other DC shows. It'll be great
Yeah,
for a season and then suck.
he was in Justice League Crisis on Two Earths, Flashpoint Paradox. He was in Young Justice and Batman Brave and the Bold.
This episode in Batman Brave and the Bold is good. I remember that very distinctly.
Founding member of the JSA. I think he actually ran. He was the Batman of the JSA because he
Mhm.
paid for everything.
Yep. He was also like he was the detective.
Yeah. So go ahead. That's all I got.
I guess just write it down. Gimmick. I like the gimmick. I think it's cool. It's goofy, but it's goofy to be cool. You know what I mean? Where it's
Yeah.
like it's not like the characters take themselves too seriously. It's like, okay, he knows it's funny, and that's why he does it.
I mean, the gas mask makes sense too because he has a
Yeah,
gas gun
that's what I was to
and
say.
it was war time.
Weapons. His weapons are very strong. Like the gas, he's an expert chemist too, I believe, and an expert like inventor. So he's always able to make something to help him out. He can make. I think he makes chemicals to like. He obviously does the sleep thing, but he can like paralyze people, um, put people like in the eternal sleep. Uh, everything you need.
There's also a point in time where he actually figured out how to scientifically make walls and shit and barriers with a blowtorch and sand, like on the spot.
Ooh.
That's pretty.
Just yeah, just
That's pretty
bam,
cool.
put it up.
like you're in Black Ops Zombies.
Yeah, just.
So I'm gonna end personality wise. he's got a good personality too, I think. So I'm gonna say an 8 for Gimmick. Heroics, I think kind of along the same lines as Jason Todd. He's not gonna like he ain't stepping toe to toe with like Green Lantern or anything like that. He ain't fighting Dark Side. So I'm gonna say like a 6 probably. Weakness. Does he have any weaknesses other than just
Same
like
as
being a
Jason.
dude?
I mean, if we skip forward to how he exists now, he can't leave the dream area for more than an hour, basically, before he's dead.
Oh,
So Broski can't be out long. He's an honorary member of the Justice League in current day, like concurrent present day stuff. But he can't be an actual member of the Justice League because if he's out of there for more than an hour, then he just dead.
I mean that's a pretty pretty tough one. So I'll
And he
give him.
does have he has a guy that lives in the dream world as well that's a villain, but like they
Mhm,
don't ever touch on him but maybe twice. So he's
gotcha.
got a constant villain
Oh,
he's fighting.
I think I see it. More Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna say a 5 for weaknesses then. It was a 6, but then like you said, because of the 1 point he goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that is 19.
So 865.
You got it.
Okay.
Gimmick wise, I'm gonna agree. Eight's a good number. I really like the Sandman. Just the story of the Sandman and stuff. Really cool. I really like that they put the gas mask on him. I don't like the purple suit. Could do without it. It's a little weird, but like we're here for it. Whatever.
It's a green
Um,
suit.
yeah. Well, it's got a lot of purple going on in it. It says green and purple. No, this one says purple and gold. So, anyways, um, yeah, I like it. I like the gas mask. I like putting people to sleep. That's cool as shit. Like he's like an Scarecrow's one of my favorite villains, and he reminds me of just like if Scarecrow decided to be a good guy. Especially in the early 70s. So I like him a lot. The noir theme is always a go-to for me. So 8. Um Heroics, he's gonna get a little bit higher for me. I'm probably gonna go like I'm probably gonna go like 7 because there's an entire two comic episodes where he fights a man who when he puts kids to sleep is trying to kill children in their dreams. And that's a big like as a I'm gonna become the weird mom right now. As a mom, that's cool as shit. Like that he's actually physically out there like spending time because most heroes like they care about the big stuff, right? Like Batman's going out and fighting crime, like the people that are beating up people in the streets. These kids are dying in their sleep. Nobody's doing anything about it. Sandman's doing it. Sandman's doing the small work that nobody else is thinking of, that nobody else is caring about. He ends up sacrificing himself to be stuck in the dream world that he ends up protecting. He's protecting it proactively against somebody constantly. So Heroics is like a 7 for me. I'll go up a little bit. He's not saving 52 Earths, but he's pretty fucking awesome for doing what he's doing. For the man he is, it's pretty cool.
It just made me think of like, oh, he's a community leader now. He's running the neighborhood watch program.
Weakness is going to be really low for me. I'm going to go with a 4. He literally could breathe wrong or fall asleep wrong on the outside of the world and just kaput die, just into nothing. So that's a little rough. And he's not I love him. I love he's not very good at what he does. He's a little broken. So I'm going to go with a 4. But the other two are a little higher, so I feel a little better about it.
I feel okay being shitty on this
Yeah,
one.
I apologize, but he's just not very strong.
I get it. He's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
He's
why.
old and he's a little he's a little broken.
So 874 for 19 as well.
It's better than I thought he would do, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Amen. As soon as you said it, I was like, oh no. This one's gonna be lower than Etrigan.
That means I just talked better.
Yeah, fair.
It was 1 point lower than Etrigan.
Okay. That's about where I would say. Yeah. That tracks. So I believe it is me next. I am picking, and this may also be pandering.
Solomon Grundy.
What the fuck?
Heroes, you dick.
Oh,
Otherwise, I would pick Salman Grundy. I love him.
he rhymes like Etrigan.
He does rhyme like Etrigan. This is my for me character. Who remembers this very classic show from when we were kids? I
Ryan
remember
Country
watching the
Man.
premiere on Cartoon Network. It was my favorite show growing up. I am picking Virgil Hawkins, also known as Static Shock.
Yes.
He was also on my list.
Gotta be quicker than that.
Oh, Static Shock is so good. Fuck you.
So I picked Virgil Hawkins, who is also known as Static Shock. Um, I feel like we're all very familiar with who he is as a character. He gets his powers originally when I think he's 16. He becomes the superhero known as Static Shock. Originally, he's very 14 years old. He's very like aloof with his powers. He doesn't want to get them. He wants to just kind of live his life. Then there's an event called the Big Bang where a bunch of chemicals are released, and he ends up getting powers. Um, his powers happen to be electricity. A lot of other individuals in his town. I don't
Bang
remember if they ever
Babies.
say what town. No,
Dakota
what
City.
town he's from. Dakota City. Okay, which I think is meant to be like a Jersey or like a like Brooklyn or something like that area. So a little more inner city almost. He is able to use electric powers, and there's a lot of other people who have powers as well who become bullies and everything, and he uh, fights to stop them. A lot of the gangs in the area also get superpowers, so it becomes like superpower gangs fighting each other. Um, so he has a lot of different powers, including electricity. He's able to generate electricity from his body. He's able to control and manipulate it as well. His control of electricity is so great that he's able to stop and start someone's heart. He's able to reset their arrhythmia. Um, he's able to overload a power grid for a major city with it. Yeah. So his powers, he is one of the stronger electric users in the DC universe. There's a couple. The fact that he gets his powers at 14, by the time he is an adult, he is very adept at using them. He goes to the future in one episode. It's very rare. He's one of the characters that lives like, I think he's like 60 or 70 when he meets himself. And he's still alive and has his powers, which is really impressive because a lot of heroes die young. Yeah, so that is Virgil Hawkins. Chaotic, I believe you are first.
Let's go.
Okay. Sorry.
Let's
I'm yelling
go.
over here. God, I'm so upset.
I'm going
This
to
is such
pander
a
a little bit to Chaotic too. He is the first black superhero I remember
yes.
seeing.
Static
Maybe like
Shock is one of the coolest.
But
I used to sit down and watch that show constantly. What?
DC does have a bad thing going with black superheroes and lightning.
What?
They all have lightning powers, usually.
Oh my god.
there's only two.
There's Black Lightning, Black
Mhm.
Lightning's daughter, Static. Dang, I know there's more. I just can't name them off the top of my head.
I'm going to look it up because now I'm curious.
Because that is a big complaint I've heard a lot in the DC universe is that they always get lightning powers.
Oh, it's not just the DC universe. Miles Morales from the
Yeah.
games, and then Electro from the Spider-Man movies, the new ones. Dang, that's crazy.
It's a comic.
Anyway,
Anyways, wild. DC do better.
DC do better.
Gimmick Static Shock just is nostalgic for me, period. Like he was who everybody wanted to be. He was so cool. I loved watching him. And I think I know this is going to be like a sin in the DC universe, but when I see the lightning symbol, I think of him more often than I think of Flash. I loved Static Shock so much. I actually knew Static Shock before I knew Flash growing up. Static Shock was actually one of my first DC characters I ever met. Wonderful. I'm gonna give his gimmick an 8.
Oh, that's horseshit.
Only because I feel like they could have done better by him. A little bit. They could have done better. He's great. Don't get me wrong. But there's so much more they could have added to him that would have yes. Heroics, I feel like he could keep up with some of the best. I think he'd surprise us. I don't think he could say 52 Earths, but I think he could get there. I feel like he could be one of the ones to survive some of that. Like a 7, like a 6, 7.
I'm so sorry, I missed a lot of that.
No, you're okay. I'm trying to decide where on heroics because like I feel like he can keep up with the best of them, but he couldn't stand with the best of them. He'd fizzle out kind of quickly if he was like in a battle for the 52 Earths. Like I just feel like he wouldn't be able to, he wouldn't withstand. Well, and that's hard too because from how we knew him to I'm going to be honest, I haven't kept up with him. I don't know if they've done an adult him or if they've moved him up or if he's gained more powers or he just at the point in time that I knew him, he wouldn't have been able to keep up entirely at that point. So I'm going to
So
say like go ahead.
uh, when he in the comics they do up him a little bit as far as his
Mhm.
powers. I don't think it's when he becomes an adult; it's when he gets older. He starts developing abilities of like he can manipulate energy fields closer to like what the atom can do. He can manipulate like elements, so he can like use electricity to change the like atomic structure of things. Um, I don't think he has that a lot, but and then he also has magnetic powers as he gets old, as he like develops that. So to the point that he can like change the subatomic particles of things,
Okay, that ups it a little bit.
which that
He
can.
also
Go ahead.
he
What's
also
up?
lives long enough to make an appearance in Batman Beyond.
Okay.
That's what I was referencing when I said that like he lives like to be an adult.
See, I was gonna put him at like a 6, but I feel like a 7's a better fit, especially if he can like with energy fields and stuff. I feel like he could keep up. I just don't feel like he would survive in the end.
Yeah, and that's
So
fair.
I
I
feel
think
like,
that's a lot of characters.
mm-hmm,
Like not everyone's gonna be able to go toe to toe with Superman.
mm-hmm,
Like
yeah. I feel like I'd go like 8, 7, 6, and the only reason I do 6 for the weakness is because like the most random insulators could hurt him. So
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just silly stuff like that. But
He
I feel like
also, if I remember right, he's like weak to he has a weakness to like gases and stuff like that too
mm-hmm,
because of his makeup. Like something about like how his body changed, he now has a weakness to like chemicals and stuff like that.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think
So you
I
said
think eight
eight,
seven
seven,
six.
six.
Yep.
Okay. So that is 21.
Static has one of the best outfits I'm aware of.
A that is for sure.
Then he has his flying saucer he rides around on. His static saucer.
He does have like because I'm looking at like the different costumes he has and everything. Even the new one that he has, like the newest iteration of it, is still dope as hell.
Oh, so I'm gonna go with an 8 as well. Heroics. That is pretty cool.
Hmm. It's very Miles Morales.
Yeah, it's street
Hmm.
hero,
Yeah.
which I am also gonna go with a 7 for heroics because he does help Justice League out. He does help the Teen Titans out as a member of them. He does end up leading a lot in the later years in Batman Beyond. I believe he was the leader
Yeah.
of the
And that
Justice League at the time.
yeah, and because he gets his powers at 14, by the time he's, 30, he's an
Yeah,
experienced superhero.
I think he was like 60 or 50 though
Yeah.
when in that time.
It was he was really old.
And weaknesses, I mean, anything that insulates against lightning is a hindrance to him.
That's like Kaotic brought this up when he is fighting like he'll go up against like dark side and characters like that. He won't necessarily beat them, but like he can fight them.
Yeah, he'll
Yeah,
show. He has the ability to show up and put in. Like he'll get them to that 75% that the other people need. Like he'll exhaust himself getting there. He may not be the final blow, but he'll do it.
Hmm.
and if he teams up with all the other lightning-based superheroes in the DC universe, I'm gonna have to just go same as Chaotic 876.
That makes scoring real easy. 21.
Okay, and on the Chaotic.
Yes. Hello. Um, I'm here to be a basic bitch, and this is for
Starfire.
Bird. No, no. I already did Raven. I'm not gonna do that. Okay. This is for Bird though. So I'm just putting it out there. So Bird, if you're listening, this is because I love you. Okay. I'm going to do Diana Prince, Wonder Woman. Also Greek mythology. I love it. I know. Calm down. But this is as close as I could get to pleasing Bird without ever touching Clark Kent, and you can't pay me to do that.
You're not gonna pick the
So
Boy Scout.
absolutely the fuck not. He can eat rocks.
He probably does.
Yeah, he probably fucking does. You're correct. He probably chews on kryptonite in his spare time just to feel something. So we all know Diana. She's a demigod. She's Zeus's daughter. She was raised by the Amazonians. She is an Amazon herself. She's absolutely incredible. Her main villain that she fights on her own is usually Ares. She usually fights the old gods. That's usually what it comes down to. She has her lasso of truth. She has her bracelets. She has super speed, super heals. She is an incredibly strong woman. She's very what am I trying to say?
Durable.
Yeah, she's durable. She's durable, but she isn't at the same time. Like a lot of the things that can hurt us can hurt her. She's just too fast to get hit by them. She generally has a better time deflecting them. She has a lot of moments where she kind of like when she falls for Trevor, she kind of has like more. She has more mortal moments than a lot of the heroes do. Unlike you know Bruce Wayne falls for some crazy fucking characters, but like Clark Kent's either Lois Lane or Diana Prince. He has no in between. He's either with a complete human or a complete goddess. Yes.
She. So you're talking about that, right? About Batman
Mm-hmm.
falling for fucked up women.
Mm-hmm.
She falls for Batman,
Yes.
who is one of the most fucked up characters in the entire
Mm-hmm.
like universe.
Yes. But
He's
I
an
would
enigma
rather
wrapped
her
in a mystery.
I would rather her be with Batman than Superman.
Mm.
Yes, I would. I hate Clark Kent. We're not going to talk about it. She's kind of self-explanatory. I mean, anything you've ever read about Greek gods, she's the demigoddess of that. Very war-driven. She's been around for a really long time. She's essentially immortal. If we don't kill her, she won't die. She's kind of the opposite humanity version of Superman in a way. She's tied to gods instead of aliens. She's a really difficult character to talk about because if I'm being honest, a lot of the times in her comics they find silly ways to dethrone her or to make her more human. There's an entire version where Clark kills her with her own lasso of truth. He ends up, it's a bad version of Superman. I can't remember which comic it's in.
Isn't that in Injustice too?
I'm not sure.
That
I
may
know
not be
in
how he kills her,
Injustice,
but he does kill her.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then people like Deathstroke could also, if he just got the one up on her or poisoned his blade, I mean, he can hurt her. Her super healing 9 times out of 10 saves her ass and her speed. But I mean, as long as they pin her down with that poison, I mean, Dr. Poison's gotten a hold of her before. In theory, she is immortal. She is unbreakable. But I mean, all it takes is the right person at the right time, just like Bruce has fought. I mean, Bruce has fought Clark in one. So it just takes the right things, the right weapons, the right, whatever. So they do have to go a little out of their way to defeat her, but she is defeatable. She's a really complex character. She represents feminism, especially in her early comics. That was her point. And there was like this huge thing that they did with her where they one of her downfalls, one of her weaknesses were being chained by men, by mortal men, literal chains around her throat. They were walking her around like a dog. It hasn't been done like hella, like never ever since then. That was like a huge uproar thing with Diana Prince. But it is a thing. I mean, that's something that they've written into her lore is that she has one of her weaknesses. She's been chained by men.
Dang.
Cheetah is one of her villains. Cheetah's fast. Her claws hurt. She doesn't necessarily ever, I don't think there's an instance where she beats Diana, but she is a formidable foe, just because she's as fast as Diana is, and she can kind of scurry her way around her to scratch her up. And if I think there's a section where Dr. Cheetah or where Cheetah works with Dr. Poison and they're able to poison Cheetah's claws and it like slows down Diana's restoration, and it makes it easier for her to kind of be a target. So Diana has a lot of really great qualities. Being a demigoddess gives you a lot of upper hands, but she is still technically that half mortal that reminds us that she's more human than like even Clark Kent could ever be. So
Mhm.
I enjoy her a lot. I think she's a great character. Everybody loves Wonder Woman. All little girls grow up wanting to be Wonder Woman. So she's really cool to look up to, and I really wanted to include her, and she's one of Bird's favorites. And I'm not again touching Clark Kent, so
Clark Kent's the most milk toast character in all of comics. His name might
she's
as well be
kind of like
white bread milk.
when I really enjoy that they like made her like her outfit is kind of Star Spangled Bannery.
Mhm.
So she's like a cool, all again, I hate to cross over to Marvel, I guess, but like everybody wants to be Captain America. He's super cool. He'd jump on a grenade for you. He's like, that's Diana. Diana would do anything to save you guys. That's her point. She would do anything to save humans because she thinks they deserve to live, even though she was taught that they shouldn't.
Is Diana technically an immigrant to the
Mhm.
Americas because she's not from there, or is her
Damn.
secret identity
She's
from
an
there?
illegal alien.
Diana Prince, I do believe, in most lores resides in France.
Okay,
You're
'cause I
talking
know
about
that.
where she lives when she's not on the
Mhm.
island, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because her Amazonian island is her home. Like that's where she was supposed to be barred there, stay there, blah blah blah, with all the other demigoddesses.
Because
And then her assignment was humanity.
it's an island hidden in the Bermuda Triangle, I think, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
unreachable, my man.
the Bermuda tri is the Bermuda
Biggity.
Triangle. Yeah, is the Bermuda Triangle technically American, or is that
No,
It's
it's
I
owned?
international
think it's
waters.
yeah. I was gonna say it's
Okay,
international waters. That's unsanctioned
That's
or
why
whatever.
she technically is no. They become like Themyscira, I think, becomes their own like country.
like Atlantis.
Yeah, it becomes like exactly like Atlantis, where it's its own country. So
Hmm.
she's a resident of there, but she gets special treatment, obviously, because she's a hero.
So the Stars and Stripes don't really make
I don't
much
think so.
sense.
But that was the intention behind it because
Okay,
like DC was trying to keep up with the because you paint Clark Kent as this like all American Boy Scout, but he's really not. Like he is literally an alien that could kill us all at any time he wanted to. Like he can snap his fingers and decide he wants to for the day. And Diana Prince was supposed to be the people's hero. She would
yeah.
under no circumstance betray them. So that's kind of like where it ties in. I think that's why they did the stars and stripes in red for her. Is it was kind of like the reminder she was the people's hero, and unfortunately, because things like this happen and start in America, that's kind of where they take the design to kind of give you that
Yeah.
allure. But yeah, I mean, I just meant like, boys versus girls growing up. I know that like Diana Prince was somebody I looked up to because I wasn't, especially back then, I wasn't going to be Captain America. So like she was just a really cool character for little girls to look up to and little boys.
She was
She's just badass.
like the first female superhero too.
Mm-hmm.
Like very early on.
And I do want to say, like, DC has fucked up a lot of movies and a lot of gigs. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, after having an icon as Wonder Woman for so long, did a fantastic job. They really did a great job with those Wonder Woman movies.
Mhm. It's the very minimal bright spot in the EU.
Correct.
Mm. All right, Silver, tear it apart.
Yes. It's all right. You're tearing Bird apart this time, so.
Yeah.
2-2-1.
I sorry, Bird, but I I like Wonder Woman's gimmick. I just don't like her outfit theme. I mean, being from the mascara and be using the red, white, and blue, and it just seems a little odd at some point. Seems a little odd sometimes to me, but
That's fair. It's like a clash. I get it.
yeah. And
But
she
she's
does
hot.
a yeah.
But she's hot.
Gal Gadot has one of the better Wonder Woman outfits.
I agree. I agree. They did a great job. It looks Greek and Amazonian, but they kept the color theme.
Yes,
Hmm.
a little bit more armored and kind of looks heavy and like leather type
Hmm.
armor. And
Come on. Oh, come on. Get out of there.
Yeah, get out of there.
her disguise, her normal person disguise,
Let's go.
It's about
It's
as
just-
good as Clark Kent's.
yep.
She just takes the skirt off, puts on some pants.
I feel like it's really hard for her to be like, no, I'm not Wonder Woman. It's like, listen, you're one of the most beautiful people on the planet. You think someone's not gonna notice her?
You're 6'5".
Let's go.
Yeah. You'd be like, damn, that
Yeah.
woman's like a Greek god. They're going, oh fuck. That's because she fucking is.
And how she transforms is she just spins. Where does her clothes go?
First of all,
I knew
That's
you were
some
gonna bring
Sailor
it up because you
Moon
put
shit.
2 memes in the chat.
okay. First of all, that's some Sailor Moon shit. Second of all, Superman was no better. He jumped in a telephone booth and just spun. Okay, so
He left his
he was
clothes
no
there, though.
better.
If your
Okay, you
comparison
don't know where
point,
she put her
hold on,
clothes.
hold on. If your comparison point is Superman, come on.
She has nothing else. What else is she gonna do? Like, she has nobody else to compare to. Batman's got to go down a whole elevator, get dressed. Like, he's normal.
Batman
She's
will
out
pay
here
someone to
super
undress him
speeding.
for him.
Yeah, you're right. Poor Alfred. Probably seen some shit.
Alfred, I need new underwear.
Can Alfred be a hero? I choose Alfred.
Alfred is a badass.
He is. Anyway.
There's one part in Etrigan's history where he actually possesses Batman instead of blood. And then, so in order to keep Etrigan from, in order to keep Bruce from remembering that night of killing everybody as Batman or Etrigan, Merlin possesses Alfred and just erases Batman's memory every night.
Oh my god.
And then he never left, which is why Alfred's as powerful as he is.
Yeah, correct.
Crazy. Anyway, so would you rate
Anyways.
the first part, Silver?
Yeah, what's Gimmick?
Gimmick is going to be a 7.
Okay, that's not bad. I'll take it.
It's not bad because it is, Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it
She's
is
got other
Wonder
good
Woman.
parts, powers. Lasso of Truth is great.
I love
It's
the
so
lasso of truth
meme-worthy.
and her bracelets are the best part, in my opinion. Those are cool as shit.
Her bracelets are actually power inhibitors too.
Yeah, so she can control what she's putting out.
I don't know if this is much inhibiting as it does its focus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's essentially, yeah, it's a focus. But like it Silver's also right because it does inhibit because she can't use full power.
Mhm.
Otherwise shit gets cray. So
Which comes to think, why does she lose her bracelets when she transforms into her?
because she's not using her powers.
Yeah.
Don't be an ass.
I usually
Heroics.
am on heroics. She does pretty much. Calm
Mhm.
down, Mike.
Easy.
Easy.
She does pretty much everything that Superman and Batman does. Heroic
And looks better
wise,
doing it.
heroics, I'd probably have to say a 9. Because another good thing she can do is she can find where she parked her invisibility jet until she
Mhm.
decides that she can fly. It was also fun watching her learn how to fly in the Gal Gadot movies. There's a lot of weaknesses though
Mhm.
that are just nonsense weaknesses, like being bound
Mhm.
by a man. She just loses her ability to do things.
Preach.
I feel like it was 100% the same as the Superman thing, where the writers were like, "Oh, she's so powerful. What's her weakness?"
Yeah, truly though. But that's so you have to think so her weaknesses, this is the only time I'll over explain myself, okay? Her weaknesses have to be looked at as many weaknesses as she has. There's only been a handful of times they've been usable.
Yeah.
Because she is so fast, she does super heal, she is super strong, she handles herself. So there's only a very rare handful of times that it's actually been executed. And a lot of them, unfortunately, are by Clark himself. Because he is, technically top dog, whatever.
He's head
So
bitch.
yeah, head bitch up in this place. So just when you're rating weaknesses, I just asked that you remember you have to be able to get a hold of the motherfucker first.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go with a 7.
I'll take that. So 797.
23. Yeah.
I'll take it.
That's a high fucking score. Damn.
Well, it's one of the main heroes.
It's one of the big 7. Yeah. Damn, that was really high. Anyway,
Anyway,
so my favorite iteration of Wonder Woman is actually the one from the Flashpoint Paradox, which is the
Queen.
yeah, when she's Queen of Themyscira and she's at war with the Atlanteans.
that's a good one.
If you haven't seen it, it's so good. Oh, I love it so much. The scene where she cuts off Mira's head.
I have not seen this, and I need to immediately.
It's on HBO Max. I highly recommend
Okay.
it.
Okay,
I got the
I'm writing this
DVD.
down.
Oh, do you have the DVD for it?
I got the DVD for it.
Yeah. It's the Flashpoint Paradox, obviously, where like Flash changes time and everything. In this new reality, Atlantis and Themyscira are like they're in like a 3-way war. Like they're fighting each other, and because of it, the countries like the UN have to step in to stop them because they'll just destroy the planet. And it starts because Wonder Woman is having an affair with Aquaman, and then Mira finds out. So Wonder Woman just fucking kills her, just cuts her head off, and presents it to
love that.
Aquaman.
I fucking love that.
Yeah.
I literally messaged Bird and was like, HBO Max, Flashpoint Paradox, we gotta watch it. We gotta watch it. Diana cuts off Mira's head. She said, say no less.
It's pretty great. And she is like no power inhibitor, nothing. She is balls to the wall the whole movie.
Hell yeah.
Which, unfortunately, is going to bring me to my point.
Okay.
So for Gimmick, I'm going to give her a 6.
Okay.
She's very strong. No one is ever going to deny that. She's very powerful, whatever. The problem I have is they paint her as the heroine all the time.
Mhm.
She's always in love with another person. The original time where she, falls in love with whatever his name is, Travis, or the guy.
Trevor, yeah.
Trevor, sorry. They paint her as this like helpless woman, but then also turn around and she can beat the brakes off anybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that dichotomy isn't. I don't like it. And they do it all the time.
It's so hard because she was such an early like feminism symbol. So they they did some weird shit with her. That's fair.
And that's the other thing too. Her message changes because it's like she's feminism. She's like, but she's also war. But she's also like peace, and it gets really skewed over time. So I'm gonna say a 6. Heroics, she gets a 7. She's killing the shit out of people if needed.
That's fair.
Or not killing, but like beating people if needed.
Yeah,
She also like is one of maybe 4 or 5 people in the whole universe that like if Superman were to go crazy, could at least slow him down.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have a month of prep time like Batman does.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. And then, oh shit, what was the last one again?
Weakness.
Weakness.
She does have she do be having weaknesses though.
She does have weaknesses.
She do be having weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say a 6 for weaknesses.
So 6, 7, 6.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can deal with that.
I feel like that's a fair score.
The only one I would argue is the heroics, just because there's some people we've talked about tonight that have been at 7 that Diana could beat the shit out of, but I understand why you put 7 too.
Yeah. She did fight Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
She got the shit kicked out of her by Darkseid, but yeah, she did fight him.
But she was there.
she showed up. She was at the function. I feel like
potluck. We're fine.
The other thing that stops me for heroics too, there's a lot of times where like she'll put her own people above others.
Mm-hmm.
And like
I can get it.
That's tough.
I forgot.
And I think that goes back to like what's her message? Because like you said, there's the whole America piece of her supporting the people and protecting humanity, but also Ares fucked with her one time and she went back and didn't come back to America for a while. She secluded herself to Themyscira. So it's like there's that dichotomy of both. And I believe that brings us to our final one for Silver. And it's Rorschach from The Watchmen.
He was considered.
Wait, that was all of round 2, right?
Yep.
Sweet.
Who won round 2?
Ding, ding, ding. Round 2's over. So the winner of round 2 was a tie between Wonder Woman and Static Shock.
I figured the Static Shock scores were high.
Sandman was just very close.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
sure was.
He's only 4 points off.
Listen, he was at 19. I'm impressed. Like, we're just gonna put that out there.
It's Mage gave Wonder Woman the same score that he gave Sandman.
Wow, that's pretty toxic, but all right. You know what? Sandman was impressive though. Like some of his gimmick was too good to deny, so I get it.
So you know how we talked about middle of the road characters? I don't
Mhm.
really care for the whole like over the top, like, oh, I can fight anybody kind of character. I want
I
like
agree.
the Red Hood, I'm gonna fight a drug dealer kind of character.
Yes.
That's my shit. Hence my characters being
Round
Red Hood and Static Shock.
Raven was my Demon
Mhm.
Goth Mommy was an automatic for me.
Oh,
But
for sure.
Diana was literally just because of Bird. The only other person I had in place marker there is somebody that I love hate. And I was like, nah, I don't feel like doing this today.
Love hate.
Yeah. He's a hot mess in everything he's in. Oliver McQueen.
Oh, yeah.
He's just
Oliver
a hot mess.
McQueen. McQueen.
McQueen.
Is that his last name?
Yep. That's exactly what it is now.
Damn, and now I gotta switch my third character.
Ka-chow.
Fuck.
My third character is Mary McCabe, otherwise known as Vixen. Vixen is a hero who has the power of animals due to a totem given to her family and passed down through her family by the god Anansi, which me and Chaotic covered in Triple M,
Mm-hmm.
who's a trickster god. Anansi gave her family this totem. It passed down through to her lineage. She's able to call forth the power of animals and gain their abilities, whether it's the strength of rhinos, or whether it's the strength of elephants, flight is flight of a bird, speed of a cheetah, claws, wolf teeth.
Mhm. It's more parts, I think, right?
No, she doesn't transform. She just inhabits their entire being.
Hmm.
She knows martial arts. Uh, she's part of the Justice League, and her secret identity is that of a runway model, which ain't really much of a secret identity. She doesn't really keep her abilities secret. Yeah, I don't know too much about Vixen, but I know she can fly and stuff.
I know a decent amount about Vixen. I'm starting right. So that meme that Silver just put in our Discord is my favorite like iteration of Vixen. I think it's her own show. It was like on CW on like their app. I think I watched it on YouTube maybe, but it's actually pretty decent. Her use of the totem when she like touches it and thinks about the animal, it actually comes in like a spiritual projection, and then she can use the powers of it, which I think is the coolest iteration of it because it's not like she doesn't grow claws, she doesn't grow wings. It's very minimal, which I think is cool. She also, I think, becomes like she supports like animal rights and stuff in her universe because, like Silver said, she doesn't have like a secret identity. She just is Vixen. So she does a lot of like animal rights stuff and everything, which I find really dope. She also is a badass in the show. Like can fight a lot of people, is not afraid to fight people. She does suffer from I hate that they do this to her. She suffers from like the classic she's a hot character, so she has to have sex with people kind of thing. Like she hooks up with like John, what is it? It's Green Lantern. I can't think of the actor's name. John Stewart. Like with
The
him,
actor that plays.
the actor that plays the animated character, with John Stewart Green Lantern, and it pushes the whole like, you know, two black people trope, and but nonetheless, her powers are very cool. She can do a lot of things. Her gimmick is cool as well. So I'm gonna say for gimmick, I'm gonna say a 6. Cool, but could be better for sure. Heroics, she's pretty small time, unfortunately. She, like I said, she can go toe to toe with people, but it's magic based. If you have any magical blocking abilities, she's done. She's just a person. Superman could just rip her face off if he wanted to. So heroics, I'm going to say a 6 as well. Weakness, I feel like her weakness is she's the normal human weakness, but also the spiritual connection. If she doesn't like have the connection to the spirit god or uh, anything like that, then she loses that ability.
But how hard is that to take away?
It happens more often than you think, unfortunately. So I'm going to say probably a 5 for weaknesses.
Because I think she can also use the powers without actually having the totem on her.
Because it's her spiritual connection. Sorry, Silver. That's 17.
I would like to pass that score to Kaotic.
Oh, thank you so much.
It's the new thing we're talking about. We didn't tell you about it.
Oh, yeah. I got it. I really like her gimmick. It screams mini goth mommy to me. I enjoy it a lot. I think it's very unique.
Pandering.
Mm-hmm. Um, I do really enjoy. I don't know, like the small powers you don't think are going to be helpful in a fight, and she seems to have a handful of them. She just would be helpful in a unique amount of ways. Gimmick, I'd say like 6. I like it, but I don't love it. It's all right. She's cute. Heroics, she's not gonna live very long. Like Mage said, you can just rip her face right off. And she's kind of childish. Not in like the way that Raven is about her trauma, but like just like childish in nature. Very very adolescent behavior, just kind of, yeah. So I would say like a 5. Um and then weakness, probably hitting you with a 5 again. I like her. I don't want to give her a 4, but 5. She's just a little thing, you know?
Yeah.
Like it's difficult. She's just a little bitty thing.
She does
But
the
I do adore her. She's
neighborhood
very
crimes.
cute. Bro, he does. I'm like, hey, I'm recording, and he doesn't care. Let me just scream.
Did you want to do that line again?
No, I don't even know what I said.
I don't either.
What was
Yeah.
your final score?
It was 654. 6. Yeah, 654.
So that was 655 because you didn't want to give her a 4.
Oh yeah, correct. You're right. 655. That's my bad.
16.
And 1 more point's not going to make much of a difference in the final tally, I don't think.
Dang. Ain't that a bitch?
Hmm.
Anyway.
I was looking for different littler superheroes that had fun fun things going on.
Man. I
Okay, Mage.
have a fun one. So, and I'm gonna pick this. I think this is gonna be pandering to Silver. I'm not really sure. I know we talk about this.
Fair
This
enough.
is probably what?
Better not be Booster Gold.
It's Booster Gold. What am I, a psychopath? I do like Booster Gold though. I am picking a character from the original Justice League show that we watched as a kid, the original animated show. He is really the first like troubled character you meet in that show, and I really like that. I am picking John Jones, the Martian Manhunter.
Okay.
So John Jones is, as I said, is the Martian Manhunter. He is from Mars. Um, he is a green Martian. There are two types of Martians on Mars. There's green and white. Green Martians are, I believe, like the prejudiced ones. If I remember right, I believe they're the ones that
Yes.
like get. I think there's like a genocide,
Yeah,
and like a majority of the green ones are killed, if I remember right.
it is one way or the other. Either the whites killed the greens or the greens killed the whites.
Mhm.
I think the whites killed the greens.
I think the whites
That's why
killed the
he
greens.
fled.
But he's first met in the the first place I remember meeting him, I eventually went back and read comics with him in it, but the original animated Justice League show from when we were kids showed him as a very, again, he's humanoid, like regular size humanoid as well, with kind of similar facial features to humans, but less detail. And then he can transform into his Martian form, which is a little bit bigger, pointier head shape, a little more muscular. Um, he's got, when I say a lot of powers, a lot of powers. So he can shapeshift, intangibility, full essentially ghost mode where he can't be touched or anything in that form. Physical strength, he has physical strength comparable to like Wonder Woman. He's been seen stopping, like he's knocked out Shazam multiple times. He stopped ships larger than him from colliding with the planet. He has psionic and physical extrasensory powers. He's able to read people's minds. He's able to overtake people's minds. He doesn't like to do it because he claims it's invasive, but he will do it if needed. He's able to telepathically communicate with individuals, seen as far as like planet to planet. It'll often be like a ping to them to let them know where he's at. He can telepathically trace and locate people, and do sleep, reprogram and change people's memories. That's the one that I said was like he doesn't like to do it because it's invasive. He's even seen to have mind control abilities, but they can only occur on lesser beings. So the stronger the will, the harder they are to mind control. So like the one episode, he's able to mind control Joker because Joker has no will whatsoever. It's just insanity, and he's able to make him actually temporarily sane. And then enhanced Martian senses. He's naturally skilled at things. He has X-ray vision. And his big weakness, I think the strongest one for everybody, he is very susceptible to fire. So even like the contingency plan, I think the Agamemnon contingency from, I can't think of what movie it is, but there's a movie where Batman talks about like his contingency plans for people, for the other Justice League members, and it's to induce pyrophobia into Martian Manhunter's mind, so he always thinks he's on fire, and then he just dies. Um, and actually, he develops that over time. So eventually, he develops a fear of fire. But that's not till like way later on in his life cycle. That's pretty much it.
Chaotic.
I was listening. I'm sorry. I was also reading. So I rate first, right? Martian Manhunter is a solid pick. When I want, so like, I'm probably gonna be damned for this. I'm not a huge Green Lantern fan. I like what they do with them. I think they're very cool. I think they're very like, especially with the newer ones that they're adding in. Some of the there's a new girl that they're adding in, that they've been adding. She's very cool. I really it's interesting. But when I think of like, other than Superman, Alien, Martian Manhunter's first thing that comes to mind in DC. I love
Jessica
him to
Cruz
death.
is who you're thinking of.
Yes, thank you, Cruz. It's very cool. They're doing a very cool storyline with that. But Martian Manhunter is who I think of. Gimmick, I feel like it's pretty solid. It's very cohesive. It all goes together. He's just great. It's not a favorite, so I'll probably go with a 7, just because I do like how cohesive it is. I do like that it's consistent. He's not a character that changes a whole lot. They stay pretty concise with him. So 7. Heroics, he's up there. He's like, I'm pretty sure on like on the top 100 site, I want to say he's like in the top 10.
I can see
so
that.
he's pretty high up there.
The first time you meet him, actually, that's why I brought up that show and I got off topic. The first time we meet him in that show is he is stopping a hostile takeover of the White Martians taking over Earth, and he does that on multiple occasions.
Yeah, he's pretty far up there. I'd probably give him an 8 on heroics. Maybe a 7. No, 8 feels right, because like kind of on the same level as Static Shock. I mean, he's gonna even do a little bit more than Static is. You know, he's gonna be there probably till right up to the end. I don't see him winning. but I don't see him necessarily dying to it either. He'd just be out for the count,
I feel
maybe
like
while things
he's
are
more of a
happening.
stalemate.
Yeah.
Like he'll fight you to the point where like he'll put you to sleep and then he'll pass
Yeah.
out too.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he would die. I think he would just be kind of like in the background. It would kind of be like once he did his fight part, he's just out for the count until it's done or whatever.
That's Silver. That's what it was. You put that, it made me think of it. The white Martians are the persecuted ones. He didn't agree with it, and that's why he left Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. And he was also one of my first DC experience characters. I really liked him. And he was always he was so funny, but like in the way no one wanted him to be. Like
The
it
dry
was like,
humor.
yeah, he was my first like handful of dry humor. I really enjoyed him a lot.
Mhm.
Weakness wise, I'll probably hit you with another 7, just because he's got some weird like what the fuck? Why are you like? He's a little broken.
Why are you from a fire planet, but you don't like fire?
Correct. And like, why are you just going to sleep? Like,
Yep.
stop.
I
So
feel
like,
that. I feel
so
that.
like a 7. So I feel like 787 feels like it
Did
feels
you
good to me.
call-
I feel like that's a solid score.
Did you call Mars a fire planet?
Yeah, it's like one of the hottest planets, isn't it?
It's further from the sun than Earth is. It's behind us.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
but like
doesn't the
its
atmosphere make it
surface.
hotter?
Yeah,
I thought the surface was hotter.
I
it's
thought it was
known as the red planet. I don't
Mhm.
know if it's actual fire, but it is the substance on Mars and stuff. It is hot.
It's got like red sand. I thought that's why they called it red.
Yeah, but when they were experimenting with us moving planets, if we ever needed to, Mars's atmosphere makes it extremely difficult to live there. It's almost uninhabitable.
Dang, no, it is much colder. Weird. Gap in my knowledge, I guess.
So it's just red for no reason.
Red for no reason.
That's the color it
But anyway,
was.
that was a 22. Now Silver's going to give me a 7.
Martian Manhunter's gimmick. I do like it,
I was banking on you liking it.
and he does make his own clothes, so his secret identity is fairly because he can just transform in and out of it.
I love that he's
He
basically
does.
Piccolo in that regard.
Yeah,
Clothes beam.
yeah. I don't know if it is it really much of a gimmick.
I mean, if
It's
you're
just
looking
his
at it
his
technically,
being.
no, that's just who he is.
Yeah,
But like we're looking at it from a mortal to superhero point of view. I mean, it is
yeah.
a bit of a gimmick. That's why I said the cohesiveness was a hard hit for me because I mean, he is no matter where he's at, he's the same.
This is true. I'm gonna go with a 8 for gimmick, just because he can shape change his clothes. Heroics are gonna be an 8 as well, because he is usually the last one standing, and he can kind of take out some of the bigger people. He's a heavy hitter.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Weakness, fire bad, but it's fire's everywhere, and a lot of people know his weakness is fire. So I'm gonna go with a 6. So 8, 8, and 6. It's 22.
22.
I think.
Dueling 22s. And I believe that brings us to our final character of the night.
Yes. I'm gonna throw in one of my characters that he's a favorite, but he's like a sleeper favorite. I don't remember how much I like him until something happens with him, especially his lore. His lore is like big for me. And this all kind of roots back to my favorite. If Poison Ivy's not an option, if she's not involved, my next go-to is anything Teen Titans. I love Teen Titans. They're my favorite in the whole world. I love Cyborg.
I knew it was
Cyborg
gonna be
is
Cyborg.
his backstory alone makes me sob. He was on the road to being a wonderful football star. He was making his way into college. He was going to do great things in life. Darkseid said, "Get fucked."
Dark Side?
Darkseid. I'm sorry, Darkseid.
I was
Darkseid
like,
said, "Get fucked."
in my head, I was like, is this someone else?
No, Darkseid. Darkseid said, "Get fucked." Literally, like obliterated his whole world. So what was his dad's next step? Let me just keep my son. He couldn't feel his legs. Let me just make him into a cyborg. So he infuses him with nanites, right? And
Is it the mother box?
Mother box
There's
helps
2
create.
groups.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
he fills it with nanites. It was actually Father Box. Father Box fucking just gives him like an entire database. So Cyborg alone on intelligence is able to unfold Darkseid's plan. They're able to prep for it because of the data that Father Box ends up giving because of the Darkseid connection. So while Cyborg isn't always the most physically abrasive character, which he can be, we've all seen him be. Being a cyborg kind of gives you its advantages in some sections, but he is very intelligently helpful for the Justice League, for Teen Titans, for so many of them, so many times. He even works alongside Martian Manhunter at one point, which was nice because I was like looking at Cyborg and then you talked about Martian Manhunter. They actually help when I want to say it was the anti-Justice League Justice League. Superman was said to have killed Dr. Light, I believe it was, and Cyborg and Martian Manhunter prove that it wasn't Superman that did it. So they actually helped Superman avoid a huge issue and possible death or excommunication. So they did a lot of things there. Mother Box does come into play at one point. He does get, because he ends up becoming a cyborg again. Like his dad has to like reform him and make him. There's more cyborg to it. That's where Mother Box comes into play. So he has Mother Box and Father Box data connections. Huge intelligence play is a lot bigger than people think. That's kind of where like some of my favorite characters in the entire DC universe come in, like Alfred and Lucius Fox, and I just think they're really neat. Like the whole intelligence side of it is the whole reason some of these guys are functioning. It also helps that he's like Beast Boy's best friend, and they just smash pizzas all the time. That's wonderful. I love it so much.
Do you get forced to watch Teen Titans Go?
No, my the oldest watched it a little bit, but then I showed him the original, so now he doesn't watch Teen Titans Go anymore.
That's good.
Yeah, he Teen Titans Go was forgotten about faster than I've ever seen anything else in life being forgotten about. There's something else I was gonna bring up. He's one of the only people in the world that has outsmarted Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor doesn't tend to be a formidable foe unless given the opportunity to kind of put his like plans into action, but he is scary when he wants to be. And Victor is one of the only people who has like had the ability to outthink Lex Luthor before he could take his actions. He's worked alongside Shazam, who's pretty awesome. I love Shazam. Was almost one of my people I chose. Billy Batson's really cool. I like him a lot. All of the Shazam characters are really cool. Victor's been involved with the Green Lanterns. He was also involved with Firestorm. It's hard. There's so many fucking Earths.
It is.
Like I'm like, which one do I choose? What am I going for here? So he has cybernetic enhancement. Obviously, he's a cyborg. Computer interfacing literally on cue. I mean, he really doesn't have to do a lot. He can upload, download, sort through pretty fast. He can actually shape change. He has a lot of, especially when he has the Father Box and the Mother Box are involved. That shape changes. It comes easy. He's got superhuman strength, speed, stamina, durability. He's obviously got the bionic regeneration because most of him is cyborg. He has genius level intellect. We've talked about his intelligence is way up there. And because of how many times he got rebuilt, his real death level is very low. You have to do special things. It's kind of like who am I thinking of? You would have to like, I'm assuming, because it doesn't tell me, I'm assuming you would have to kill his brain to kill him because he doesn't have a functioning organ system.
Oh, you're
His
thinking
brain,
of like Ultron or Brainiac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You would have to essentially destroy his brain because I feel like even in his like cyber kinetic build, he's one of those people you could put the brain in a in a jar and it would still survive because of how much he's done with nanobiotics. But I don't know. Nanobionics, not biotics. But that's just, it doesn't really tell me a whole lot because like when you look up his weaknesses and stuff, there's not a whole lot out there. I mean, obviously like you could piece them apart, I guess, and like just keep the pieces away from each other, but they always kind of, especially if mother box and father box are involved, they find their way back. So it's just hard. You'd have to like keep him somewhere or like keep his brain somewhere or just execute his brain altogether, I would imagine.
Mhm.
So yeah, I really like Cyborg. He's like, I never think about him until like I get like a piece of his past, and his past is really devastating. Like he was a teenager just minding his business, and Darkseid literally fucked his whole world up.
From one thing I've seen, one of his first origins, or a version of his origins, is his parents were messing around with the father box and the boom tubes and such,
Mm-hmm.
and a portal opened up, and like this slime monster came out, killed his mom, nearly killed him. That's when his father decided to
Well, in
piece
every
them together.
instance, his dad's fucking wild for that. Like his
Yeah.
dad's so fucking devastated. He's constantly sad because mom I think in every Earth, Victor's mom is dead and or dies. And so dad's super lost. And the second Victor shows sign of stress or like immobility or possible death, he just reconstructs his son. Which I know not a lot of people like Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm one of those people that really enjoys Zack Snyder's Justice League. They delved further into Cyborg's past in that. Fucking twisted. Like his dad just really wanted him to be alive at his own selfishness, and then has the audacity in almost every Earth when Cyborg needs repairs and like to be upgraded, he's like, oh, but I don't want to do that. No, sir, you do what I asked. You turn me into this, you upgrade me right now.
Is Cyborg also one of those characters where they had him first in the Justice League or first in Teen Titans, and then they switched him?
Technically I'm pretty sure I
I was
could be
thinking he
speaking out
was
of my ass.
first in Teen Titans, and then they.
I thought
He
he
was
was
Teen
in Doom
Titans
Patrol,
first.
but I could
He
be
was
wrong.
Doom Patrol first, but I think Doom Patrol came out after the original Teen Titans.
Well, I think because if you go in technical chronological order, it'd been Teen Titans, Justice League, Doom Patrol.
Mhm.
But if you erase how when things came out, it was
Mhm.
technically supposed to be Doom Patrol, Teen Titans, Justice League. Nowadays, you'll find him in more Justice League, especially as comics go. But he's always in Teen Titans for anything they do.
Kind of how like they got the older Starfire teaching the team now.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's like in when he's in Justice League, he's an important character. Like even Superman comes to him for like reconnaissance. Like he wants to talk to him about what's next. So Cyborg's he's a huge intelligence piece.
Tear him apart, Silver. That's the Doom Patrol one for sure.
Yeah.
Oh what? Yeah. Doom Patrol Cyborg show was wild.
Cyborg followed his gimmick pretty accurately, where he's always half robot, half cyborg,
Mm-hmm.
and they usually keep his same side of his face and everything
Mm-hmm.
the same. And you can't really hide your identity. Besides that one Teen Titans episode where he had the ring.
Mm-hmm.
That was dope.
That was one of those emotional type of, hey, it's who you are on the inside, not the outside type of episodes. I'm gonna have to give Cyborg a 8 for gimmick. Heroics, he is always trying to help the team out, usually from the watchtower or in the battlefield. I think his arms can change into any weapon he wants them to.
Pretty much, yeah.
He just makes a sonic blaster most of the time. Oh, give him a 7. Weaknesses, enough physical damage, and he can be broken. You can disable him by pulling his arms off like anybody else, but it's a little harder.
Slightly.
How's his reaction to EMPs?
I don't know that one's ever been tested. If we go by the mother box and father box, they wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
Like if he's built by the boxes, it doesn't matter. If it's just the Lex Luthor nanos, then I would imagine there'd be some effect. But if you're going by the actual boxes, no, they would have like zero effect on it because that kind of energy isn't EMP like mortal grade effect.
I'm just gonna go with a 7 for weakness. It feels right because of
Okay.
how hard he is to kill. Because I think he survived through injustice a lot of times, didn't it?
Yes. He
So,
survives a lot. He's a background character because they play him for intelligence a lot.
mhm.
He doesn't do the actual battles a lot. And I think it's neat that DC keeps his like. Also, fun fact: Cyborg is one of the African American counterparts that does not have lightning.
It's true.
So there is
Vixen
that
is
one.
also one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Unless she
yeah,
uses power of electric eel.
yeah. Well, that's
Get
very specific,
fucked.
Matthew. But he
She does
is.
not. This bitch just pulled that out of his ass.
They keep him adolescent. That's a big trauma to deal with as a teenager. And despite his mind growing, when they keep him out of battle, I mean, they're really like he's going into this with no knowledge. He's never had to be a weapon, and now he is a weapon. When I think of Cyborg, I kind of think of Iron Giant, built to be a weapon but doesn't want to be. So that's why he uses his intelligence a lot. And I think it's a unique play on him.
So my total was 22 for you.
Nice.
Okay, Mage.
Chaotic, I like the way you think because our list had like 4 different characters between them. Cyborg being one of them, and Raven being another. Gimmick. I do like the gimmick. Have you ever seen Young Justice?
Yes.
Did you watch all of it?
No.
Did you watch season 3?
No.
Oh my. Are you kidding me?
I don't think I did.
Season 3 is Cyborg season.
I'm going to have to watch
It's
it.
the reason you were describing it. That's why I asked about the father box. That's when he gets his powers. There's the explosion, and then his dad uses the father box, and it creates him and everything.
I sure have not seen it.
It's so good. Side note, that show is probably my favorite thing DC has put out in the last 10 years. It's so good. Beyond good. But his arc in that is crazy. It's like you said, it's so sad, but it's so good. Gimmick, obviously, we talked it to death. Everything is really cool. Gimmick, I'm going to give him an 8. Heroics, I'm going to say a 7 because like we talked about, he does have a lot of good abilities. He's in the show, he's able to open up like the boom tubes at will, which is very
Huge.
strong.
Yes.
It becomes one of the best things that he can do in the show.
I don't know if he does it in others, but doesn't he in the Zack Snyder cut, doesn't he control one of the boxes for a hot minute?
He can,
like he's
yeah.
He's able to wield one of the boxes.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the thing. That's
cool.
why, because he's a father box,
mm-hmm.
It's the one character that is like, it's Violet. You'll find out about her. She's like a living embodiment of a mother box. So because of that, she's able to like help him control the father box and assimilate with it. And then he can do the same to other mother boxes.
Ooh.
So he's able to like control them and commune with them. I don't want to say control, but is able to make them like calm.
Mm-hmm.
So is able to control their abilities, which is really powerful. Weakness, Batman talks about it in Endgame. EMPs do affect him, so that is a curse there. He's able to get, like, they talk about it in Teen Titans, I believe. He's able to get short-circuited with too much electricity. He's able, if he doesn't have like a battery power, he can't run forever on energy.
Mm-hmm.
He has to charge up at some point. And he is able to get, there's an episode where he gets a virus. I remember that too. I think it was Gizmo maybe that gave him one. But then he's able to control him. So weakness,
there was something in Teen Titans also, wasn't there, when Slade hires somebody to hack the tower, and Cyborg ends up being a part of that when he's on charge or something, and ends up doing all kinds of crazy shit.
Yeah. They hack him and give him a virus. And that actually gives him, this is the other side of that too. It's twofold because he is also part human. He gets PTSD from that as well.
He died. That poor man.
Yep.
I'm telling you, that's by the time he reaches Justice League, he's like, I will stay in this fucking tower. I will let you know.
He also struggles with, I've seen a little bit, he struggles with the, like, because he is a machine, with like purpose a little bit. And I think that's the whole like Doom Patrol thing, isn't it? Of like he's a villain almost, and him like fighting for humanity and everything.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a point in time where like he thinks that even the soups are bad for humans.
Mhm. So I'm gonna say a 5 for weakness because he does have seems to be a lot of them. So I say 8, 7, 5, so that's a 20.
Nice. I'll take it.
They do a good job at
Cyborg deserves to be 20 or above. I'll take it.
Also, he did date Zatanna.
He did date Zatanna.
We don't discuss that. Just like we don't discuss that Bats often dates Selena Kyle. We don't talk about that either.
Also, Bats dated Zatanna.
I know Bats dates everything that walks. Let's talk about it. Literally everything. But the only person he belongs with is Ivy. So whatever.
Do you know my favorite Batman thing ever put out? It's a Killing Joke. Do you know how mad it makes me that you can cut out the first hour of that movie because it doesn't mean anything? You can literally start at the scene after him and Barbara Gordon have sex, and the whole rest of the movie is amazing. If you cut out the whole bit before that, it makes no difference to the movie whatsoever.
I know, but I do love that movie, beginning to end. I'll watch it even if it's irrelevant. I do love that movie.
It just makes me so mad because it's like you just shoehorn this in here for no reason. Ugh, so dumb.
Okay, then. Well, should we do our honorable mentions?
Chaotic, since you're the guest, you get to go first.
Is it the people that I didn't get to do?
Yes.
Yes.
Oliver Queen, obviously. Black Canary. I had Shazam. I had Red Hood, obviously. He was taken. I had Dick Grayson. He was a big contender. Let me see. I had Starfire on there. Trying to scroll up to my list. I think that's it.
Cool.
Oh, Beast Boy. I obviously had Garfield on there. I love him. But yeah, those were Dick Grayson was a big one for me because I really love Nightwing, but also like it's Nightwing, you know what I mean? So
I feel like Dick Grayson suffers from like there's so much material on him. If you pick him, you also have to be like, are you talking about Dick Grayson Robin, Dick Grayson Nightwing, when he's Batman for a little bit? Like, who are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's also Dick Grayson super spy. He's a spy for a while.
One of my favorite Dick Graysons is Judas Contract. I love Judas Contract, Dick Grayson. I love Judas Contract as a whole. It's my favorite. But yeah, no. That would probably be the Dick Grayson I would have focused on. But
fair.
I enjoy him as a whole for the most part. Sometimes he's 90% of the time he's a whiny bitch, but like we forgive him for it. So it's fine. But yes, those are my honorable mentions. Oh, and question mark. The question. I had him on there too, and I just couldn't. He's difficult. He's hard to find enough.
It's because he's not a hero.
Yeah, he is though, but he isn't. He's just a detective.
He's not.
And if we're being honest, I was going to attempt to push the Poison Ivy agenda, but she's too much of an anti-hero.
Yeah,
she's too neutral. She's just like she's a great hero for the plants.
I'm sure I'm actually going to open up the categories right now, and I will add anti-heroes, and I will put featuring Chaotic.
Yes. I got to have a Poison Ivy at some point. Go on forever.
Okay. My honorable mentions: John Constantine. John Constantine.
Oh, that's a good one.
He drinks a lot.
I love Constantine.
He does. But John Wick.
Yes.
It's John Wick the alcoholic.
Yeah.
Correct.
I was going to put Morpheus, but he's not technically a hero.
He's also like he's just a deity.
It's like saying a Nazi.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had another one. I was doing Nightwing, like you, as well as a lot of the ones you guys put from Teen Titans.
I feel like neither of us picked Nightwing because we were like, that's yours.
I was expecting a Nightwing from Silver, I'm going to be honest.
I was expecting when you guys take it, so I didn't want to take it. I was being nice this time.
No, Mage came out the gate stealing Jason Todd, so I was like, well, I'm not touching Nightwing now.
Dang, ain't that a bitch?
He was like top. He was straight up there. Yeah. Go ahead.
I had the Stranger.
Stranger's a fun one.
The Stranger's fun because he goes between both DC and Marvel, and it's canon
Mhm.
that he's the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Wally West, the Flash.
Are you talking
Everybody
Kid
likes
Flash or when he's the actual Flash?
Kid Flash.
I
When
like
he's
Kid
in
Flash
the,
better.
because that's when he's in Wally West is the first Flash in Young Justice, right?
Mhm.
Then
Yes.
Bart comes in.
Well, Wally dies,
Yeah,
and then Bart comes in. He's Impulse.
yeah, but those are mine.
Very cool. I had a longer list, but I had Roy Harper, which if you've seen the first season of Young Justice, that was the storyline I like. I love tragic characters. So cool. Dr. Fate.
That's a good one. I had him on my list too.
I was gonna do him, but I was like, that's gonna be a argument for
That's a
Silver.
big
I know
one.
that. Green Lantern, specifically Kyle Rayner,
Okay.
who's the character that defeats Parallax. He's also the one I know the most about. Black Adam. That's my favorite DCEU movie. Is Black Adam with Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
I've not watched it yet.
It's highly recommend it. It's got Dr. Fate in it.
It was such, like, as DC Universe goes, it was such mixed reviews.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I really do enjoy Black Adam, and I just didn't want it to be ruined. So if it comes recommended, I will watch it.
It's really good. It's a good movie. If you don't go into it with like the expectation that's going to be like, oh, it's a
The
Justice
Black
League
Adam.
movie. Like, no, it's not.
Right.
It's a superhero movie. It's good.
Okay. All right. I'll watch.
It's an
Batman.
anti-hero movie.
Yeah.
That's fair.
It's anti-hero
He's
Shazam.
the
Right.
anti-hero of the universe.
Yeah.
Right.
Batman, duh.
Mhm.
And then my last one, this is the one I almost picked, Damian Wayne.
Oh my God, I wish I had a fucking recording. I literally sat with Bird not even an hour before I left earlier and was like, if these motherfuckers choose Damian Wayne, I will leave the podcast.
He's my favorite.
I can't stand him.
He's so cool. He's such a cool character. He was raised
such a
by
baby
the
back
king of
bitch.
assassins.
Listen, he has his raising and like his martial arts and like his actual skill, epic proportions.
Mhm.
His attitude, what the fuck?
Because all he's ever been raised to do is kill people.
And then I was literally talking to Bert about this earlier. It's like, what are those memes where it's like, oh no, the consequences of my own actions. Every time Damian Wayne says something and Bruce is like, what the fuck's wrong with you? I'm like, oh no, the consequences of your own actions.
Oh no, wear a condom.
Yeah, but no, I literally was expecting one of you to pop out with Damian Wayne, and I'm surprised we got all the way through it without
I
it.
liked him. I like him
I
because he's such
why.
a troubled character. Again, like
he is, and like anybody that comes out of the pit's cool as shit.
Mhm.
So like whatever, but still.
And he's out here. He's 10 years old, beating the brakes off Dick Grayson. Wild.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm surprised nobody did it. I'm thankful. Don't get me wrong, because I'd have been fired up. But yeah,
222. Fuck you. But yeah, those are mine.
Was Booster Gold also on your list?
Booster Gold is not on my list. I love Booster Gold. He's so fun.
And Plastic Man.
Plastic Man.
The Plastic Man. But he's
what's the other gun? Elongated Man.
Yes.
One of them doesn't wear clothes, and they just have their outfit. Like,
I think that's
hanging
Plastic
on.
Man.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's Plastic Man.
Yeah, he's kind of gross.
Plastic Man's also the quippy version. I think he's meant to mimic like Spider-Man. He just busts quips all the time.
Yeah.
He's constantly pictured with like questionable gestures towards women. He's just a hot mess.
How many stretchy people does DC have? They got Elongated Man, they got
3.
Plastic Man, they got Rubber Band Man.
I think it's those 3.
Okay.
Yeah, they're wild.
Rubber Band Man.
I'm so glad that you brought up Martian Manhunter. I'm gonna be so honest, like that was a like unlock to my brain. I didn't think about Martian Manhunter at all.
I actually like 2 or 3 weeks ago rewatched that arc of Justice League, the original one, where they like stop the black ships that are coming down from Mars and everything. He is such a cool character in that show because he's more human than any of the humans there. which is wild.
Mhm. I forgot how much I loved him.
Mhm.
I'm gonna have to go back. I'm gonna be on a DC tirade. I'm gonna be
You
watching
need.
a bunch of shit.
I'm very serious. The first thing you need to do is watch the new seasons of Young Justice.
I'm going to.
Like,
I put that down on Bird and I's list.
Mm.
That's first, and then the Flashpoint
Flashpoint
is
Paradox.
next.
Mhm.
And then Black Adam.
Oh, and Mage, you were wrong.
What was I wrong?
Young
on? I probably
Justice
wrong
came
on a lot
out
of shit.
14 years ago, not 10.
Young
Damn.
Justice?
Yeah, 2010.
Jesus.
No
And
way.
it ran for 4 seasons, so it'd be 2014 would be the
So
last.
no, it's not. There was a break. The newest season came out like a year ago. There was a really big time skip because I remember watching the first. It was either the first season or the first 2 seasons, and there was a break of like 6 or 8 years, and then they came out with the 3rd season
Ah, you're right.
because they left it on a big fucking cliffhanger too.
October 16th, 2021.
Yep.
When season 4 came out. So I did not see that. I haven't seen it either.
Mm-hmm. It's season 4 is not as good. Season 3 was like top tier.
But anyways, would you guys like to know the winners?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're doing golf scores this round. Didn't tell you guys.
Get
No.
fucked.
Get out of here.
I take
With
it that means Silver
100
lost.
110 points is me.
Yeah.
Also, Sandman was a Black Lantern at one point.
Oh.
Was he?
Yeah, he was.
Very cool.
Interesting.
I'm not changing my score.
10,
You-
10, 10. Let me just.
You'll take your 19 and you'll like
You know what
it.
it takes? Do you know what it takes to be a Black Lantern?
Don't you have to die?
You got to be dead.
Yeah.
What a
Like
wild ride.
like zombie lanterns.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now what's your guys' guess for who's second and who's first?
I'd say I'm probably second. Mage is probably first.
With a total of 128 points. The winner, Chaotic.
What?
Dang.
Really?
Second place, Mage, with a total of 127 points.
Oh, that's
Oh my
fucking
God,
horseshit.
wild. That's insane. Ain't no
1
way.
point difference.
God damn it.
That's insane.
This is
Chaotic
because you
had
gave
40
me. This is because Chaotic gave me a 19 for Red Hood.
Chaotic had 44, 42, 42. Mage had 42, 44, 42, 41. Red Hood was your lowest one at.
I figured. God damn. Very good though. Very good. I can't believe we beat Silver by 17 and 18 points respectively.
Oh no.
That's not our biggest gap though. So
Oh no, not at all. monDe picked some fucking doozies the one round. What did we pick? Like the Uno reverse, and he picked Team Rocket.
yeah.
Oh no.
I was like, no, friend.
Oh, hang on. I gotta.
I
show you.
respected the balls to do it, but it did not pan
a lot.
out.
I was telling a friend what we were doing. So they typed in Architect Apocalypse podcast, and you guys came up on the AI.
Hey,
A podcast by 3 brothers who compete on a variety of nerdy topics such as anime, comics, video games, and other archetypes. For example, in episode 2, Naughty and Nice Uno Reverse, Mage, monDe, and Silver discuss characters who play the Uno Reverse card in their respective media and how they represent good and evil.
that's pretty
word
sick.
for word my description I
Yeah.
typed out.
I love the AI. Everyone freaks out because they're like, "Oh my god, it's making stuff up." It's like, no, it's just pulling shit from the
Just
internet.
pulling information. But it was just neat. It was you guys were the first pop-up on Google. There's no other pop-up.
Very
so that
sick.
was neat.
We had a bunch of other ideas for names, and we kept finding like stuff named it. And we were like, "Oh shit, well."
I have a follower on Twitter who is also a Myths and Monster podcast.
Oh no.
And every now and then they'll like post or like some of my stuff, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, are you
the
following me
Oh.
because it's a Myth Monsters pod?
Yeah, Aaron.
No, there's a different one. Because I follow Aaron. I have Aaron. Like, I follow Aaron back. So I know that one's Aaron.
Huh.
But there's another one. And they just like follow. They just like stalk. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Well, Mage, want to spin our wheel for, or do we want to have our next guest pick it?
We should probably have our next guest pick it. Probably
Since
should do
Who's our
that.
monDe
next
is
guest?
probably Ruby.
Yeah, we didn't cover
Well,
that at the
God,
beginning
what are
of
you
the
doing with
episode.
that?
Yeah.
We should
What's
probably.
Ruby coming in on?
Who knows?
Who
Oh my
fucking
God,
knows?
I can't wait. What are the subjects going to be?
Do you want to be a fly on the wall for that episode?
Yes, I do.
I'm gonna spin a
Just wanna
wheel
make
real quick,
funny
and we can
comments.
determine if we want to use that. But yeah, so because monDe did just have a child, we're gonna give him a couple weeks off to recuperate and live his life and do things. So we'll have a couple guest stars the next couple weeks. First being Kaotic, obviously. So if our next guest wants to, the category that we have spun, that would be a really fun one though. It's emotional damage. So events from TV or media that are emotionally draining, hard to watch, things of that
I want to
sort.
be here. I want to be a fly on the wall. I got to figure out what Ruby's going to say.
Well, if she can't do it, we'll tag you in. Because that could be a real fun one. Because I know Silver and I have seen some shit. As far as scoring goes, though, you are now tied with monDe, so we'll count your two scores together. So Silver has 3 wins, I have 3 wins, and monDe now has 2 wins.
He's fucking welcome.
He's
Hang
fucking
on.
welcome.
He knows no DC, so he would have lost this one probably.
No, he would have done fine because he would have done Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman.
Or Flash.
Oh, and the Flash. Yeah.
He would have done Flash, Flash, Flash.
all
Barry
different
Allen,
Flashes.
Wally West. And then
Wild.
who's the
Reverse Flash.
No, yeah, Reverse Flash. He did a heroic thing once. Oh my god. And here's Kaotic with the outro.
Hello, Kaotic here. Thank you for listening to Archetype Apocalypse. Mage, monDe, and Silver will be back to debate soon, but if you just can't wait to get your hands on more, check out the other projects within Mythic Gates on Discord or at monstersmythe.wixsite.com. A quick tip since Silver can't hear me either. If you sub to Patreon, you get episodes a week early. Don't tell them I told you. See you next time, AA Fiends.